You're watching ABC 36 on your side. Good Morning Kentucky with Lee Cruz and Haley Harmon.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking kids with Dr. Caitlin this morning, as always, with Lexington pediatrician Dr. Caitlin Iddings. So today's topic is very timely. If everyone you know is sick, or maybe you yourself, no wonder. The respiratory viruses that start to spread rapidly during the fall and winter months, that's what we're talking about today, and hopefully how you could maybe prevent it, but if you get sick, how to treat it. It's good to see you this morning, Dr. Caitlin.
Good morning.
So when we say respiratory viruses that are common this time of year, which ones are we talking about?
Yeah, so the big three that we always have sort of talked about, at least since 2020, are flu, COVID, and RSV.
Yes.
In kids, we will also get a decent amount of the croup virus, which is a kind of a para-influenza virus this time of year. But those are kind of the big four, and then there's other ones that kind of just like linger year-round that are still kind of bad players too. But those are the ones that tend to cause the most office visits, the most hospitalizations, those sort of things.
Okay. So right now, I mean, fall season really just began, but let's talk about numbers. How are they comparing to maybe this time last year?
Yeah, so, since COVID hit, we've talked about this before, there's been a very strange shift where there isn't necessarily a respiratory season. Respiratory season tends to be October through late March.
Okay.
And the year after COVID, we had very little flu, very little RSV, and then last year we had RSV kind of come really early, and then flu came really early, and so even by like end of November, Thanksgiving time, cases were super high. Hospitals were overwhelmed with all of these really sick kiddos who were needing respiratory support, that sort of thing. So far this year, it hasn't played out like that. We saw a little bit of RSV come in the summer, but not nearly as much. A little bit of flu B kind of at the beginning of September, and then we are starting to see maybe just over the past week a little bit of rise of some of these viruses, but it's not kind of that full-blown, oh my gosh, we waited too long to get our flu shot and all that sort of thing that we were having last year so far.
Okay, far. Okay, so let's talk about what you maybe could foresee for the season. I mean, if you're a betting woman, what do you think? Are we going to see a big jump at some point?
I think we will see a decent jump in especially flu and RSV. COVID has kind of come to this place where, I mean, there could be a bad variant that could come in, but it sort of seems to be a little more steady, at least amongst kids. The ones who are younger, under age 4, that haven't had it before or haven't had the vaccine tend to be the ones that we're seeing coming in kind of sick with it. But I suspect that based on the numbers from Australia, which we've talked about before, we kind of looked to them for their season last year because their winters are summer, and then we can kind of predict what to come. They had a pretty decent flu season. It wasn't quite as early as it was last year, which is like what we've seen already. We are starting to see some flu cases, talked about earlier. 10 confirmed cases in this flu season, which has really only been 2 weeks now, right?
Right, yeah, when we say flu season, it's like, we just got into it.
Yeah, so, I think we will start to see that rise. I think it may be a little more predictable, more like, we've been telling people, flu before boo. So try to get your flu shot before Halloween this year.
Oh, that's a great way to remember
because I think that, Halloween will go, and then November will come and we'll probably start to see cases rise.
Yeah, flu before boo.
Yeah.
I like that. That's an easy way to remember, because I feel like every year it's like, did I get it? When should I get it? That's a great way to remember, especially this year, as you said.
Yeah.
Okay, quickly, I know, some of this you're going to have heard before, but it applies every year. How can you prevent yourself, you or your kids, from getting sick this year?
Yeah, so, this kind of goes back to all the things we revisited with COVID, making sure we're doing frequent hand washing, making sure we're sanitizing high-touch surfaces. So with COVID, the kids were really good about sanitizing those Chromebooks every day or multiple times a day. And last year we had, strep going all around and recurrent strep, and we were like, where are they getting this from? And it's like, do you clean your Chromebook? And they're like, I haven't cleaned my Chromebook all year. So make sure that they're wiping down those desks, wiping down those Chromebooks, making sure they're washing their hands really good. Sneezing in their elbow, using tissues, trying not to sneeze in their friends' faces, which is harder when they're younger, but the older ones certainly can try to control that. And then, just really focusing on good, basic, healthy nutrition, making sure they're getting their fruits and veggies, getting those good antioxidants, and then, of course, getting the vaccine if they're eligible.
Okay, some good things to know there as we are in this season of the year. Good to see you, Dr. Caitlin. Thank you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.